Last night, the low Earth orbit satellite communications operator OneWeb successfully launched and contacted with all 36 satellites. This latest deployment brings the in-orbit constellation to now 146 sats. Joining us now is the CEO of OneWeb, Neil Masterson. Neil, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, late night, so I suspect you probably haven't even slept yet. I am curious, though, the service that you are getting ready to roll out and offer once you get these additional 3 launches happening over the coming months. What is the service going to look like? What is the pitch that you're making to enterprise customers and governments?
Well, the service is, the pitch is really quite simple. What we're providing is broadband connectivity where there is no fiber. And the way we're approaching the market opportunity is to actually go directly to telcos, local ISP providers, local governments, and the existing distributors in the industry, because they know best what makes sense in their communities and how to price it. And we're able to provide a range of solutions to them: community broadband, cellular backhaul, emergency backup, amongst other things.
How many customers have you already signed on?
We are in the process. We're a deep pipeline. You'll be seeing some announcements fairly shortly on numbers of specific customers.
Of course, we talk about the competitive landscape, whether it's SpaceX with Starlink. You have AST and Science that's planning its own constellation as well. There's also Iridium. There's Telesat. Amazon. I realize everybody's sort of targeting something a little bit different, but given how crowded low Earth orbit is poised to become over the coming years, how would you assess that competitive landscape, and what do you see as your biggest rival? Can everybody survive?
So we think the market is very large. I mean, let me just give you some stats. I mean, there are 3 billion people unconnected on this planet, and of the 4 billion plus people who are connected, about half of them are unhappy with the quality of their service. So the market opportunity is very large, and that's, of course, before you start trying to connect machines. So my perspective is that there's going to be a number of players who will end up being successful. We will see who they are, but the market is certainly large enough to sustain a number of players. And our approach to unlock that opportunity is, as I mentioned, is to actually work with the existing industry and the existing ecosystem rather than seeking to disintermediate them.
Yeah, it's such a key point, and I realize that OneWeb is owned by not only the UK government, having emerged from bankruptcy last year, but also Bharti Global. We've been talking a lot. I think earlier this month, we've had the CEOs of the major telcos here in the U.S. on to talk about that record 5G spectrum auction and the rollout of that infrastructure here in the U.S. When we talk about some of these next-generation connectivity technologies, how do satellite operators such as yours fit into that larger picture?
Dead center into it. I mean, look, our goal is to help our customers, i.e. the telcos and ISP providers, be more effective in supporting their customers, the end users. And end users, by the way, includes not just people and businesses, but it also, of course, includes machines. And so we think there's a big opportunity there, and our technology plays directly into that.
We've had a number of SPACs. A number of space companies going public or looking to go public via SPAC. Just another one, the 7th one this morning, Redwire. I realize that you've completed in recent months another round of funding. The company did emerge from bankruptcy late last year. Is this something that you would plan to do as well?
I think it's an option. I would say that we're very confident in our progress on funding. And of course, nothing appeals to investors like execution. That gives investors real confidence. And last night was a great example of that.
Finally, Neil, you're a financial services and communications guy, over 20 years at Thomson Reuters. Why make the move to space?
I think, first of all, I think the mission here is very important. I think what we're trying to do here is profound and has an enormous societal benefit. But I'd also say associated with that, I just see a giant market opportunity and a real value creation opportunity. And the final point I'd make is that, I do like technology. This is a disruptive technology, but it is a technology which is ready for scale.
In terms of where you're manufacturing satellites, is that going to continue? I realize you have your location in Europe, but are you going to continue to do that on the Florida Space Coast as well? And what does that mean for hiring?
Yeah, we expect to continue that. We think that this facility we have in Florida is one of only really 2 mass production satellite factories in the world, and so we think there's a big market opportunity for that going forward. But we also expect to begin manufacturing satellites in the UK as well.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.